I'm excited to have the opportunity to discuss our Landlord Incentive Program. So as part of this program, we offer landlords an incentive to house men, women, and families that are on our coordinated entry list for the state. Just so that we understand, right today we have 1,318 individuals and families that are homeless in our state. Come June, when FEMA dollars run out, about 150 households will go from being in a hotel room to probably the street. And they'll be joining another 250 to 300 folks that have already gone to the street because they've lost their housing, their shelter, or their hotel bed. The state has invested tremendously over the last 2 years as we've been hit by COVID to open up hotels to create non-congregate opportunities for our most vulnerable Rhode Islanders. And I want to be clear that we're talking about our family members, our neighbors, the people that we interact with every single day. We do not have enough options for all of the people that need to be housed. I've been here at Amos House for 21 years, and I have never, ever seen the situation to be as bad as it is today. We have unprecedented numbers of people who are homeless. We have unprecedented skyrocketing costs for rents, for food, and for gas, and for every daily living situation. And in this community, we have also had unprecedented numbers of opioid overdose victims. And when we put those three things together, the COVID issue, the opioid issue, the homeless issue, the lack of affordable housing, the prices of everything, we are abandoning the folks that are most in need. And a year ago, Amos House applied to do a landlord incentive program because the United Way had operated one previous to that. And since June of last year, we did find 82 units that housed folks that were living in either a hotel or one of the shelters. Amos House in December opened a family shelter at Memorial Hospital because we don't have enough family shelters. We were housing in the shelter families that had been living in their cars. Families that were afraid to have their kids go to school because they were afraid that DCYF would get involved and remove their children because they were homeless. So the Landlord Incentive Program is one piece of a solution. And because we did so well last year and found 82 landlords, we launched another year of landlord incentives now. We've increased the incentive from $2,000 to $3,000 for our first unit, $1,000 for a second unit from the same landlord, and up to $3,000 in repairs to make a unit safe, legal, and affordable. So this project is so exciting. After the governor announced last week that the project was going to be renewed, we've gotten over 80 calls from landlords that are interested in participating. So that's the really good news. The other part of the story is that we need landlords that will offer affordable housing for folks that are often at 60% or below AMI. So we're asking for landlords that are willing to work with folks that are on a housing and homeless list, who may have to use rental assistance to help them support their unit, but also who need permanent long-term solutions. So I'm really excited to be able to start this program again this year. I'm thankful for the state for increasing the budget so that we can offer additional incentives, because more money will hopefully bring in more landlords. And I'm hoping that there will be a reciprocal benefit to the landlords, to the folks that are on that homeless list, and to our state, because housing is a human right. Every single person deserves a roof over their head and a place to call home. And everybody in our state should be part of the solution, as we have been here at Amos House, and we have been trying to get others to join us. And the governor has done a great job in the last couple of years, really trying to figure out what this problem is. We also need other solutions. We need places like transitional structures like Echo Village that will provide transitional housing for folks while we build all of the units that we need across our state. So I'm really, again, so happy to be here, grateful to have you all here with me. And I am now going to introduce, who I don't have to introduce, our Governor, Dan McKee.
Eileen, thank you. And I do want to recognize the staff here at Amos House for continually doing the work they're doing and welcoming us back time and time again to make sure that we use the opportunity to express the need and the efforts that are being made not only at the Amos House but around the state of Rhode Island. And this is just a great place to be able to lay out those those plans. And I do believe in plans, and I believe that we need to have a plan for anything that we want to execute in a way that makes sense. And last time we were here with our Lieutenant Governor, who is clearly one of Sabina's top priorities is housing, and as we transitioned in office, me into the governor's seat, Lieutenant Governor into the Lieutenant Governor's seat, we talked about housing. And we compared our notes, being municipal leaders, about how we know that housing is an important piece in terms of our overall economic health in the state of Rhode Island at many, many different levels, right from the sheltering all the way to fair market value and everything in between. We really need to make sure that we hit every piece, and we're here today to talk about one of those important pieces. I want to thank Robert for being here. We're glad to have see you in Rhode Island. I understand you just ran a marathon. You just told me you ran a marathon, 26 miles, so you must have saw a good part of our state because we're not that big. So thank you for being here. And, I can tell you that with HUD and a partnership with them, we're looking to partner with anyone that has the same level of passion in terms of the housing issue as I know you do, and HUD does as well. So we're looking forward to continue that partnership and build on that partnership. You see firsthand every day the urgent need for housing and supports, which is very important as well. It's not just housing, it's the supports, and that's why I admire so much what Eileen and the staff here has done, because you provide the supports. You provide that link into employment, into jobs, into the work that we know needs to be done. One of the fastest paths that we could do to help with some of the areas that we have in housing in other areas is through good jobs, good paying jobs, and training to elevate people's incomes. And that's one of my absolute top goals, is to increase incomes throughout the state of Rhode Island. We know that we have partnerships with Crossroads as well, and the Nilo and other area hotels have stepped up to help Rhode Islanders in need during the difficult winter months. We've appropriated dollars last year out of the governor's office to talk about, and late in the game, quite frankly, thinking that there was a plan there. I see Tori here and others on our staff that we are actually delegated to this issue, and we appropriated dollars last year to address the short-term needs that we were going to need coming into Thanksgiving, into Christmas, and into New Year's. But we knew that this providing shelter to Rhode Island's, that we're experiencing homelessness in this way was a temporary solution to an issue that required both long-term and short-term solutions. As anticipated, the federal funding from FEMA to provide that hotel shelter is winding down, and we know that it is winding down. That's where the Landlord Challenge comes in. This is an important program that I believe that is going to be part of the plan, as Eileen said, part of the plan. It's an important opportunity for landlords who have available and suitable rental units to step up to the plate and house those families who will be soon transitioning out of hotels and into more permanent housing. This has worked before, and so we're building upon it. Similar programs in 2020 and 21 attracted participating landlords across Rhode Island to provide available rental units to those seeking rental housing. And since this program opened last week, as Eileen said, we've had several hundred inquiries from landlords who want to participate. Landlords will receive a $3,000 signing bonus for the first unit signed on for a one-year lease and $1,000 for each additional unit. Up to $3,000 per unit is available for reimbursement of necessary repairs. The program, when possible, will provide rent for up to 1 year. Part of the rental assistance program, I think I get on a call this afternoon, Tori, with rental assistance, and we are, as other things like vaccinations, #1 in the country, Northeast #1 in the country, and reopening the economy, we're #1 and with small states on the allocation of that rental assistance program. And I think about 5th in the country. So we strive to be the absolute best. But this is a program today where everyone benefits, especially in the tight market with urgent housing needs. Landlords will fill units and receive a $3,000 signing bonus for the first unit signed, plus $1,000 each additional unit. And Rhode Islanders will be safely housed. We're asking the General Assembly to pass the budget that we have put in. Our budget includes $250 million for housing. And it also will make good on the promise that I made back in January that we will build out shelter for the coldest day of the year. And I've told Bob, Rhode Island has some cold days, and we want to make sure we're prepared. That $250 million is $90 million to preserve 1,500 affordable housing units. There will be homes for families that earn up to 80% of the area median income. A $25 million grant to buy properties that can be redeveloped into affordable and supportive housing, and $20 million to support workforce housing. The Landlord Challenge is an example of what happens when local, state, and federal leaders collaborate. We make a tangible difference in the lives of Rhode Islanders when we do just that. I'm looking forward to seeing this program take off. This is an opportunity to meet the needs of Rhode Islanders, and let's embrace it. In addition to that, we are going to have a written plan in the state of Rhode Island. Some people think you can actually manage without plans. You need a plan, and then you need to follow that plan. And you need to make sure that everybody that has an interest in this effort on housing is included as we develop a plan. And that's my promise to each and every one here today, that we will have a plan, and then it will be a plan that we actually can make happen, and we're going to make sure that we provide the resources to make that happen so the people who live in the state of Rhode Island have a place to live, because how can we expect our sons and daughters to stay in the state of Rhode Island here unless they have a place where they can afford to live? Families can have the income to raise their families, and there's an education that supports both the ability to house and the ability to have a strong economy and a family. So thank you for all having me here today.